Yes. Oh yes, July. It's open.
Thank you.
Padlocks on top of the filing cabinet in the bride's room.
Thank you.
Right. Do you want it open? It's unlocked at the minute. You want it open?
Yeah, because members of the public coming into watch. Double doors, probably.
Come see, come south. Oh, that's French, isn't it? Yeah, no, it's lovely.
It's great, Jeff, isn't it?
800 squares, eh?
Okay.
Yeah. And they don't usually do this, but it's not, mate.
Yeah. Okay, good evening members, welcome to this meeting of the Town Council. It's the annual meeting of the Town Council on Wednesday the 13th of May. And agenda item 1 is election of mayor for the next civic year. So Town Clerk, do you want to just take us through the process that we're going to follow?
Okay. So first of all, we need top two nominations for a candidate. At the moment, I have a candidate, Councillor Chuka. Is anybody prepared to nominate Councillor Marine, and a seconder, Councillor Mallet?
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else?
Is there anyone else who would like to put themselves up for mayor?
It's a wedding, isn't it?
So we could grab a hold to please. So could we take that to a vote then, please? Thank you very much. That's unanimous.
Okay, great.
Thank you. So I now need to do declaration of acceptance of office. That's here.
Yes.
Would you like me to read it out?
Like to?
I can do. Yes. So I. Emmett Chuka, Councillor Emmett Chuka, have been elected to the office of Mayor of Sandwich Town Council. I declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to the conduct which is expected of members of Sandwich Town Council. As per Schedule 12 of the Local Government Act 1972, I consent to the receipt of all council meetings by electronic methods. I understand I may withdraw this consent at any time. I'm now going to sign that, and it's the 13th of May. 26.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item 3, which is election of deputy mayor. Do we have any candidates?
We have two candidates. We have Councillor Wiles and Councillor Marie. Who would like to nominate Councillor Wiles? Councillor Chuka, and seconder, Councillor Black. Councillor Marie, who is nominating Councillor Marie? Councillor Ripley, and seconder, Councillor Franklin. Okay, so if we vote, each councillor can vote for themselves, they get one vote each, okay? So you can't vote for Wiles and Marie, you choose which one you want to go for. So if we go for Councillor Wiles, first of all, I'm going to take the ticks down and put it on a piece of paper, so it might take a little while, so put your hand up nice and high, please. Councillor Wiles. So we've got Wiles. And Councillor Marie. Okay, so that's for Councillor Wells.
Thank you very much. Can I just thank both candidates for putting the names forward, because it's gone very smoothly this year.
It's been great. Already.
Fantastic. So we're going to move on to agenda item 4, which is declaration of acceptance of office by the Deputy Mayor.
Shall I read it?
Yeah.
So I, Colin Miles, have been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of Sound Council. I declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to the conduct which is expected of members of Sandwich Town Council. As per Schedule 12 of the Local Government Act, brackets 1972, I consent to the receipt of all council meetings by electronic methods. I understand I may withdraw this consent at any time. I shall sign.
Now all councillors have an acceptance of office which contains this digital update. The internal auditor told me that we all needed to do that, and so just in order for ease, if everybody would be very kind and just sign, I know you have done it, but if you could sign a fresh one, which also includes this digital update that I don't think was done in the past.
Could you have a couple of pens down here, please, or at least one pen?
If you wouldn't mind putting your name in, that would really help me.
I think the
I think this is the first time we've done this like this, because we normally have an informal meeting, so if you can be the new mayor, he has a chance to have invited guests. I do prefer
It
the
does,
old way.
this has to be done like this. in
I know this is the official one,
legal
but this is only happened in the last 2 years, since the last town clerk. We always did it at a little bit after the last town council, we had a little informal one.
Well, then,
So the mayor could then invite his family to come on the night, you think, well, you know, it has happened before, it's been
It will happen. It will happen. It will happen. It will happen. So it's a good point.
that's for you just pass them up this way and then I can go down and see.
I didn't read councillors, they sign it.
Do we have to sign?
Just
No. One is me. The bottom one is me. It's just the top one.
Oh gosh.
13th.
It doesn't matter.
13.
As long as both of us are on it.
Signature on the paper somewhere.
If it's all proper, then it's
Yeah.
a problem.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Getting fuck up.
can't spell.
It's good to be thorough though, isn't it?
Oh, it's good to be
Don't
legal.
want to think what happened last year.
Good to be legal. They come down here.
It might, of course, in the future.
Thank you.
It's good to invite your family down. Otherwise, we have it on the night.
That's good.
Because councillor is.
Okay, so if we can move on. So I'm just going to say that what we've got tonight are documents of the statutory responsibilities of the council to accept for the coming year. So these are documents in the main that are unchanged. So hopefully we can take them through at pace, but where there are any alterations, the town clerk will call those out for our attention. Okay, so agenda item 5, and that's apologies for any absences.
Okay, so we have apologies from Councillor Carter and Carter. They have personal commitments. Councillor Gray, unfortunately, has a health commitment, and Councillor Morehouse has a clash with DDC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item 6, declaration of interest. Does anybody have any declarations of disclosable pecuniary interests to declare tonight? No, thank you. And agenda item 7, and we've got attachment 7, and that is the minutes of the last meeting. We've been asked to receive and approve the minutes of the annual town council meeting on the 15th of May 2025, and consider any matters arising from those minutes. Are there any comments? And if not, does somebody have to propose that we accept them? Thank you. That's Councillor Marie and Councillor Franklin. Thank you. If we vote on those. unanimous. Thank you. Right, moving on to agenda item 8, and that's to review of terms of reference for committees and schedule of delegations. We've been asked to receive and adopt the terms of reference for committees and schedule of delegations for the ensuing civic year. That's attachment 8A. Attachment 8B is to receive and adopt the working group's terms of reference. And attachment 8C is to receive and adopt the pre-meeting protocol. So we go through 8A first of all. Terms of reference for committees, are there any changes to note?
The only one to note is for the HR, not the HR, the Heritage and Townscape. We're going to, hoping to add, to consider if any buildings or spaces should be registered with DDC as assets of community value.
Yes.
This is the first time we've ever done that because you are the mayor here now, but we've always waited till the first meeting of the town council after the public meeting, which is got to take place yet. Because if it took place that there was a new mayor in place, which we're going to have next year or the year after, very often the new mayor reconstitutes the committees. So it's very awkward. And I've never seen this done like this before. I've not seen anything done like it's just something that we haven't done before.
Okay, so I think tonight is probably not the best point to debate that, but if there are any issues there, more than happy for you to have a conversation with Town Clerk and can reflect on that. But I thought these were statutory requirements as part of the annual meeting of the Town Council.
Because I think the actual open meeting downstairs is the actual proper town council meeting.
This is the actual
No, this
town
is.
council.
Well, that's new as well because this has only happened in the last couple of years, hasn't it? Because we have had our little meeting to have a mayor, and when we had the full meeting in front of the public, the person that was delegated to be mayor didn't get it.
But this is also open to the public.
It is
This
an
is the
open
annual
meeting.
town
Yes.
council meeting.
Yeah. I'm just saying that over the last 2 or 3 years, so much has changed. I know new legislation and different things.
Which is the legislation,
It's the
Councillor Franklin.
legislation.
You have to do it like this.
Okay.
And downstairs is very much for
I'm
ceremony.
going to go in
It's lots of fun
Yeah.
downstairs, Councillor Franklin, but in order to be legal, we have to go through these
Yeah.
steps
Yeah.
now.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So on the first one, we changed, so we should vote to include that to the terms of reference for Heritage and Townscape. But if we can, if there are no other challenges, if somebody's happy to propose to accept all the terms of reference,
Accept all.
Councillor Franklin,
Get some time,
seconded by
Jeff.
Councillor Marie. And that's without one amendment to Heritage and Townscape terms of reference. Thank you very much.
Sorry, can I just be clear?
Yeah.
To consider if any buildings or spaces, consider doesn't mean decide.
No, it's
That will go to
Just be
STC.
absolutely
Yeah.
clear. So I think it should be to consider but not decide if any buildings
Okay.
or spaces,
To consider with the decision to go to STC.
yes.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah?
Okay, that's voted. So can we vote again on that, making sure that's all okay? That is unanimous. Thank you very much. So 8B is to receive and adopt working groups terms of reference. Are there any changes to those?
No, there are no changes. This was a document that was produced, but for some reason wasn't on the website, and so therefore it had sort of fallen in abeyance. So I felt it was the right thing to do to bring it to everyone's front of their mind, and adopt it afresh.
Okay.
But it's not changed in its
Content. Any comments? And if not, somebody have to propose?
I'll propose.
Thank you. Councillor Anderson. Seconded to Councillor Wild. Vote on that. That's unanimous. Thank you. And finally, to receive and adopt the pre-meeting protocol.
So this one was actually brought again, came to front of mind. It dates from 2013, so it was very old. So this one I did do a little bit of work on in terms of just highlighting that pre-meetings were not necessarily open to the public, but they could be. But the main point is that no council decisions are taken at pre-meetings. So I put it in underline because they are fact-finding forums, basically.
And I thank you for bringing this to this meeting, because I think we've had discussions, we've had challenges. It's right to have it documented, so I'm happy to propose these, the protocol itself, if somebody's happy to second it. Councillor Fortescue, report on that. Thank you very much. That's all nice. Okay, moving on to agenda item 9, appointment of members to committees. So this is to appoint members to committees for the ensuing civic year, and it covers a number of committees. So rather than go right through them, can we start with each of them individually? So the first is the Finance and General Purposes Committee. And the terms of reference would say 9 councillors, including the Mayor. Currently there are 10 councillors identified against that, which is acceptable. Are there any comments on membership from anybody? No? So I think in terms of accepting this, what we're also been asked to vote for is to have 10 members for the coming year, which is one above the terms of reference, which I'm happy again to propose. If somebody's happy to second. Councillor Ripley. And that is unanimous, thank you. Next one is Heritage and Townscape. 9 councillors, including the Mayor, and that one's on the money, unless somebody has a comment to make. No? Somebody have to propose that one? Councillor Mallet is seconded by Councillor Ripley. Next is Planning Committee, and that's 9 councillors, including the Mayor. And we've got 10 on that, so we are one above, and assuming if everybody's still happy to be on that, we will also be voting to have 10 members, including the Mayor.
So will the quorum still be 5?
Yes.
For both of them?
Yes, yes, quorum doesn't change. So Councillor Ripley has nominated that or proposed it. Councillor Solomons has seconded. We vote on that. I think that's unanimous as well. Moving on to Human Resources Committee, 6 councillors including the Mayor, and we have 6 including the Mayor. Any questions on that? No? Somebody have to propose? Councillor Ripley, seconded. Councillor Fortescue, and vote on that. Thank you. And moving on to Monks Wall Nature Reserve, that's 6 councillors including the Mayor. For some reason I had a free year last year, I didn't attend it, but I am happy to step up because it is only a quarterly meeting. And that will take it to 6.
Yes.
Somebody's had to propose that. Councillor Mallet seconded, Councillor Marie, vote on that. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you for that. Moving on to agenda. Sorry, whoa. Maddox Charity Management Committee, 8 councillors including the Mayor, and that has got 8 including the Mayor. Councillor Franklin's had to propose that. Councillor Ripley seconded. Vote on that. That's unanimous.
Nick, can I make a comment?
Yes, of course.
Because at planning last week, we only had 4 councillors turn up, and we were not quorum.
No.
I mean, there's 16 town councillors, and then please, if the councillors can't make it, can you please ask someone to substitute? I know sometimes it's unfortunate, people are sick or not with that, but we're all sitting here waiting, and suddenly we've got it tomorrow. Luckily, because sometimes we have to meet with Dover District, and if we don't get it quickly, we doesn't get back to Dover in time. So please, councillors, please make sure if you can't make it, inform the town clerk or get a substitute.
That's a really good point, and thank you, because actually it just makes it really, really frustrating for those in the room. Yeah. And there are unavoidable events that generally people do know in advance, so thanks. Okay, moving on to appointment of any new committees. There are none, so we've been asked to note that. So I'd like to propose that we note that there are no new committees. Councillor Fortescue has seconded. Vote on that. Thank you. Agenda item 11, review of standing orders and financial regulations and other governance documents. We've been asked to receive and adopt a number of documents, so we could start with standing orders first.
The standing orders is unchanged. With the issue we had over the security report, I did quite a lot of investigation into what was and wasn't necessary to be in confidence, and did a bit of a deep dive on it all. I think that it would make the standing orders a bit smoother if we considered removing 7.3.2. Our standing orders differ from the NALC template already, and we don't need to have those two clauses in there. We can choose, for example, like the security issue, to put it in confidence if we feel that that is the right thing to do. And having these two clauses limits that ability. Obviously, councillors need to see the report in advance, and they need to vote and decide whether or not they want to report in confidence. But if they do, it's perfectly legal for councillors to do that. So it can be removed if people want to.
Councillor Black.
Is the suggestion that the papers need to be marked as confidential in advance, even though we have to make a decision at the time? Are you changing any of that? Because otherwise, so those papers will still be marked confidential, even though at the end of the day we decide they're not confidential.
If they're not confidential, they'll have to go on to the next month.
Yes, you wouldn't have them in the meeting because they're being shared with the public, and if they are a public discussion item, then the public needs the opportunity to see them in advance. That makes sense?
Right.
And that's what happened with the Hellman's project.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just quickly, I wanted to speak regarding standing orders and pre-meetings, because there was an issue a few months ago where pre-meeting, and it got out, some of the stuff was confidential and it got out in public and it wasn't very pleasant. May I suggest we put an amendment in the standing orders to say all pre-meetings are behind closed doors for if in the future.
Well, we've just had the protocol for pre-meetings, which does say they are all behind closed doors unless we deem we want to have a public involvement, and that might be fully public or it could be invited members of the public.
Okay.
So I think the protocol does cover that. I mean, it's a valid point, but I think we've covered that under the protocol. Okay. So thank you for that. Any other comments? And if not, we happen to propose content standing orders with the deletion of 7.3.2. Councillor Franklin has nominated the Councillor Marie has seconded. We vote on that. That's one abstention. Thank you. Financial regulations for 26-27.
I mean, it's really what it says in the report. One of the points that both the RFO and I have noticed since we've come into post, that there were minor irregularities between what it said in the financial regulations and what was happening in practice in the clerk's office. Nothing troublesome, but we do need to make sure that our financial regulations match the practice in the office. That's what we have. These are the rules and this is what we do. As I said, nothing was statutory. There was nothing that was going to cause the auditor any worries or headaches, but we just sort of changed a few of the little bits and bobs so that the practice matches. Then on top of that, we've put in a couple of checks in. For example, I will initial each invoice prior to the payments being made, just to make sure that the bank account that's being paid is the same as the invoice that is listed. We've also amended the use of the bank card wording just to make sure that it's more workable, that all payments need to be authorised by the town clerk or the RFO. Previously, all payments had to be made by the RFO, which was different from, it was quite weird because the town clerk had the authority, but the RFO had to make them. So it was just a bit clunky. So we've changed it so that the authorisation has to be undertaken either by the RFO or the town clerk. That will be then captured on the payment schedules, and that can then be signed off in the meetings. So it's just a bit cleaner, a bit clearer. Practice that we haven't been done, we need to get to finance committees. The payment schedules should be signed in the meetings like minutes are. So like I've introduced that change of the minutes, we'll do that for payment schedules going forward. And again, changing the wording about how councillors release payments. For example, if people are unavailable or if they're ill, we put in wording to say that we could contact one of the other bank line operators and then report the change to the next meeting, so that we're not scratching around looking for councillors to release payments. So those are the changes.
Thank you. Any comments?
As Chair of Finance, I'd like to request a tracked version of the changes so that I can go through the changes and see them, because you've talked about bits and bobs and so forth. But I think it's appropriate that at least one councillor reads all of the proposed changes in detail.
Councillor Breen, I don't have track changes. I can't work track changes. I find them very confusing, so I don't.
So you could highlight them with the highlight pen, couldn't you?
I could do that, I suppose, yeah.
Are you happy to accept them this evening, but subject to the caveat that you will report back to the next Finance and General Purpose Committee should there be any need for discussion?
I'll abstain if you don't.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Somebody have to propose? Councillor Franklin, seconded Councillor Ripley, vote on that. We have one abstention, yes, one abstention. Thank you. 11C, which is the Financial Regulations Appendix 1. Are there any no changes on that? Propose. Councillor Franklin seconded it quietly. Thank you. That's unanimous. Mayoral election protocol. This is just really bringing it into standing orders and other relevant documents. So we've already reviewed this through a council meeting and accepted it. We agreed then that then it would come to this meeting for adoption. So nothing's changed in the content.
No, nothing.
So I'd like to propose that we accept that to be.
Sorry. Does that mean we're not going to have, say, a fortnight before a meeting? Because it's so important that the incumbent mayor, the mayor coming in, has a chance to invite family, because family and friends might be coming, from anywhere in this country or even abroad. So I think to do it on the night, to certainly say, so otherwise you're going to have a mayor, big mate, and no family members.
Yes, so
that's the only thing that worries me, that the mayor has his support of his family.
I think what the whole point about why we brought, this was all driven out of last year, I think. It was about making sure we had clarity about how we approach an election. So what this is predominantly about is the process of the election. The current, and we're moving into the last year, so the next administration might have a different view.
No, they can't have a different view, I'm afraid.
So it's set.
Sorry, it's absolutely set in stone.
Yes.
But
So that means you might be voting at this meeting to be mayor, and you'll have no family down there to back you up. Well, I think that's terrible.
We could change it.
Historically, it's never how it's been done. We've always had family here.
Councillor Franklin, it has been done incorrectly. It's the 1972 Act. It has to be done in this meeting.
Well, it's funny, town clerk, but it's only the last 2-3 years that it's been changed. The other town clerk, I'm quite happy with it. It's only happened in the last 3 years with the last past clerk, and I think it's awful that you're going to be a mayor for the year, and suddenly you don't know whether to invite your family down or not. I think that's all wrong.
I was just about to say
Yes.
the same thing.
There is
So we
no
have the official meeting, get all the legalities out of the way, and then we have the ceremonial part a week later, say, and do the ceremonial part.
So that is
Do it on another night.
that is the way of doing it, but that we would have to all. So at the moment we've got this document, and I think we've already agreed it in a previous meeting. Hopefully we'll adopt it tonight. So then we should come back and look at whether we separate it out, and that would solve the issue you're flagging up.
Yeah, I think we'll do it on the same night.
Yeah. The only issue that others will consider is whether they want another event on top of tonight, if you know what I mean. So that's.
Well, we've never done this before. This is brand new. This only happened in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
We've always never come here to do this pre-meeting.
No.
We've always it's been a quarterly meeting, and we've all gone straight down to the courtroom at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we've always known who the mayor and the deputy mayor's going to be.
So I think we've got a solution, but we will need to bring that back separately and get back to it.
I should think awful, to be mayor and not have your family there.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Yeah.
It's a good point, but I think anyone who chooses to stand as mayor would come to this meeting having a fairly good idea whether they're going to be elected or not. So it would be unwise to invite people from abroad, for example, if you didn't think you were going to be elected.
Sorry, can I just quickly, sorry, Mr. Biggs, I was just saying, many years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
20 years it got overturned in the courtroom.
Yeah, exactly.
So there is history on this, you're right.
Yeah.
So I think we've got a simple solution, but that has to be accepted by the councillors. So I think separate that out, we can do that at another point. In advance of next year.
I mean, this was supposed to be a quarterly meeting downstairs,
Yeah.
and now we've got a quarterly meeting on Monday, haven't we?
Yeah.
We suddenly got 2 meetings as well.
Yeah.
So it's, to me, it's ridiculous.
Thank you. Okay, so it's not lost, we will deal with that separately. So I'd like to propose that these regulations, rules, guidance, we called it a protocol, are adopted, so I'm proposing
And
that.
this is an unchanged
Unchanged,
protocol.
already have seen. Councillor Ripley has seconded, we vote on that? Yep, and that's unanimous, thank you. So, finally, 11E, to review and confirm adoption of the councillor code of conduct. Any changes here,
No,
attention?
it's just good practice to
Yeah.
bring it to everyone's attention.
Somebody happy to propose that we, Councillor Marie, Councillor Ripley, vote on that? That's unanimous, thank you very much. Agenda item 12, arrangements with other local authorities. To note that there are none to be reported on at this time, so I'd like to propose that we note that. So next look at that, Councillor Marie, and vote on that. Unanimous as well, thank you. Agenda item 13, representation on outside bodies. This is where we elect members to serve on various statutory bodies and other outside organisations for the ensuing civic year. We have had representations on a number of outside bodies for each of the past 3 years. Are there any identified requests for change? Sorry, Councillor Wilson.
Yes, I'm interested in the membership highlighted in yellow, and I'm not quite sure why, of Sandwich United Charity, because as I remember it, they requested that 2 representatives from Sandwich Town Council should be added to their board, their trustees, and we went through quite an elaborate procedure to elect 2 councillors from this body, and as I remember it, Councillor Mallet and myself were elected, and we've heard nothing more, and I wondered whether we could be enlightened as to where we've got to.
I don't know about this one, so for me.
So I am certain that no further correspondence has happened between the council and the charity, or from them to the council.
But they were told that we've been elected.
I hope so.
I don't know.
Yeah, that would have been under the previous September 25.
I don't know. It was before me.
Yes, previous town clerk. So I think we'll take this away. We'll follow it up because I'm not convinced necessarily it was as clear that from their perspective. So we need to check with them.
Right. Mr. Mayor, yeah, traditionally, United Charity was the mayor and the town council, and then they set up as a separate council before my time. So we always had 2 nominated incumbent councillors on the committee, but they've actually changed their constitution of their charity. So that's what's happened.
But they wrote, I think, to the council last.
They haven't notified the change of charity, but I have talked to some of the trustees, and I said, what's happening about our trust? Because one time we had councillors standing down at election, but because they wanted to still be trustees, they stayed on.
Yeah.
That's happened a few times, but I think at the moment they've actually changed their constitution to the charity commission.
So
I think, as I remember it, they actually sent a request to the town council. I mean, I don't know.
Beyond that, it was we were the
I think it's 2 nominated councillors, I don't think there's a request.
no, that's exactly right. I'm not sure it is as cut and dried as that. So without us trying to fill in the gaps here ourselves, what I will ask is for the town clerk, and I will talk to you about it, and we will write to them to check the current status in terms of the town council being represented on the charity.
Yeah.
Mr Mayor, could you draw their attention to the fact that they've got quite a bit of stuff upstairs in the attic, and if they're in the archive, and if they don't wish to receive the council and the heritage of councillors being nominated, they could do us a favour and move their clutter from upstairs.
I don't think we want that, Mr Mayor, because we've got all of this stuff in the museum as well. So I think we just have to try and pressure them, but I think there's loads of stuff in the museum.
We can hurry up on this one. Councillor Black?
Sandwich Festival Association, I have never heard a word from any of them, and can anyone tell me anything about it? Please, as I'm supposed to be the representative, ain't nobody been anywhere
Yeah,
near.
it's not an organisation I'm aware of, but Council Wells,
Ah.
Well, I was going to volunteer to go on that as well, but I think it's been in abeyance. It's not really been that active in the last few years.
I think what it is, it's the old Sandwich Festival Association when the Sandwich Town Council used to run the Sandwich Festival. When SCA took over, it was kind of put on with that, for the Communities Events Association took over, it kind of put on that, hence why I joined it. But now there's a brand new committee of the SCA, and there's 3 councillors on it, was 3 or 4 councillors on it currently now. So it may be a good idea to have a chat with the SCA, Jack Shepherd, to see what he says about this, because this might be like one parallel with.
Yeah, which we don't really want to do, do we?
So, what we were being asked to do tonight is to elect members to serve on various statutory bodies and other outside organisations in the ensuing civic year. To note that the town clerk will share the existing list with members, which we've got, to consult on their preferences 26-27 with a report to be shared with council at its next full meeting. Now that won't be next Monday, it will be the one after that. Yep. So, are there any observations from anybody? Are those names that are already listed, or are you happy to remain as you are? Yep. Okay. And if we've got any gaps, I think we can follow that up with emails to councillors and say these are the gaps, and if anybody wants to put them forward, they will be discussed and agreed with the next meeting. Is that okay? Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm happy to propose that we accept the list as it is. Seconding somebody? Councillor Marine seconded, and that is, are you voting? Yes, that's unanimous. Thank you very much. Moving on to inventory of land and other assets, including buildings and office equipment. To note and receive the report of the inventory and assets registered for STC.
Proposed note.
Proposed. Councillor Franklin seconded. Vote on that. Thank you very much. Next, confirmation of arrangements for insurance cover in respect of all insurable risks, and we've got for 26-27 for STC, STBF, Zurich for the main insurance cover, Beasley for art and civic insignia cover, and BHIB for cyber security cover. Somebody happy to propose that we accept that?
Yeah.
Councillor Marie and Councillor Manners seconded. Vote on that. Thank you, that's unanimous. Number 16, agenda item 16, subscriptions to other bodies and regular payments, charges, direct debit, contraction costs for 26-27. There is a report included on that. Number 16. And they are listed. Any questions on those, Councillor Black?
Yes, my favourite subject. Confederation of the Cinque Ports. Are they actually now doing something? Because previously their publicity and their involvement was 0.
Yes.
Are they doing anything more now?
We have a champion.
So, thank you, Councillor Black. So, the previous champion of the Cinque Ports Assembly was the last outgoing mayor. As we know, a lot of things happened in those 2 years. I have regular meetings with the other champions of the Cinque Ports. They are doing a big tourism boost at the moment and getting hence why I emailed the councillors a few weeks ago regarding photos of like the town square, the toll bridge and stuff to put on the posters. We have me and Councillor Duke and the Mayor have a meeting in a couple of weeks' time with the Cinque Ports. We're in Winchelsea for the annual meeting, I believe it is. So we'll be there to discuss. But the communication report and what's the word I'm looking at with the town, with the sink ports, is getting better and better as we speak. So it will get better, but it is worth it. It's a sink port. We are a sink port.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clarification.
I just got to add, Mr Mayor, that a lot of the Sink Court mayors actually come up to the pageant in there on Saturday,
Yes, they
including
do.
the Lord
Very good,
one,
yes.
which I thought was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So we know that we've made head port.
Thank you. So I'd like to propose that we receive this report unless there's any other challenges on what's listed. No? Seconded. Councillor Wiles, vote on that. It's unanimous, thank you.
Apologies, Mr Mayor, we just go back to the assets list, which we kind of rushed through quite quickly. Could I ask for an explanation as to why we've got Fishergate valued at 346,000? I'm not going to be able to answer that, but if we could just
Take that
have
as
an
a question.
understanding, because
Yeah.
I think, you know, that is a really high valuation for that property to be on our asset list at that value.
Yeah. Are you happy to take that as an action and that we report back?
Yeah,
Thank you. Okay, moving on to agenda item 18, review expenditure incurred under section 137 of the Local Government Act 1972, or general powers of competence. This is to note and receive a report which details expenditure incurred during 25-26 using the general power of competence.
To receive a note, so
Yeah.
propose that, Mr
Yeah,
Mayor.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We vote on that, unless any comments? No? Vote on that. Councillor Fortescue, are you in agreement? Thank you. Thank you very much. And moving on to the next item. Did I miss, because I am going too fast, apologies. Did I miss out to note the schedule for review of procedures and policies and to move to adopt the schedule? I did miss that out. There is, yeah, that's again to note. So are there any comments on the schedule?
Sorry, I've lost the plot. Where are we now?
Yes, so
16.
Attachment 16.
Attachment 16.
Oh, no, it's
We're
not
about to-
numbering.
there is an issue with the numbering. I didn't want
Sorry,
to, I
it
didn't
should
want
be
to call it.
attachment 17.
17.
Sorry, that's my fault. Yeah.
Yeah.
16.
Okay. 17.
Yeah, no.
Run out of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, got that, no.
Noted, Councillor Franklin has proposed, Councillor Marie, and the vote on that, note it. Thank you very much. Moving on to, we're doing fine, it's only 6:40. Agenda item 18, review expenditure incurred, that's where we got to,
Just
so
competence, yeah.
have we,
To receive a note that.
Yeah.
Proposed.
Councillor Marie's proposing that we note it. Councillor Anderson, no, we did, we sort of reversed back from there. Councillor Anderson has seconded, I think. Yeah, and if you could vote on that. Thank you very much. Back on track. Agenda item 19, county and district councils to submit a written report to the council. This is where we invite our county and district councillors to submit a written report to the council at least quarterly. There are no penalties if someone doesn't do it, but the intention is there on our part to ask for it to be done. So,
There's no harm in asking, is there?
okay, so we've been asked to note that and agree it. So, if, I'm happy
Sorry,
to
will that be by the form of a letter from the town clerk?
I will email them for you.
Thank you very much. So I'm happy to propose we invite them. Somebody happy to second?
Second.
Councillor Marie, vote on that, that's unanimous as well. And then, agenda item 20, date and time of the ordinary meeting of the council up to and including the next annual meeting of the council. This is to receive and approve the previously drafted and circulated dates for civic year 26-27. There have been a couple of changes,
Yes.
haven't there?
The attachment 20, the report is on the final page because just the logistics in the office. So you have seen various drafts of this going through. This final draft has a couple of changes. According to when I was going through the terms of reference for committees, there is not supposed to be an F&GP meeting in August, so I've removed that. That then means that if we at the moment, we have agreed to have no STC in September, because it was felt that, you know, because most people here don't have children, that probably suited people rather better. However, looking at the diary, there's a lot that goes on in September anyway, so we don't really get the break that we were hoping to achieve. Whereas given there's no F&GP, if we take that STC meeting out in August rather than September, you then end up with a really nice, nearly 5-week summer break in August, which gives everyone a chance to have a break.
Okay.
So there's that. Then the other thing to note, the Peastone ceremony is taking place this year on the 27th of May, not in October, because it's being moved from its current location. It's the only Peastone ceremony. I have confirmed that with Chris Russell. And then the final thing to consider is the date of this meeting, and then to go with it, the mayor making, whether we want to keep that similar or different.
Seconded.
It's 10-2, so
Yeah, you can. Councillor Ripley has seconded. And
What
put
about
those
the
on
mayor
that.
making?
Would you like to decide that now?
What's that?
You could discuss the mayor making and separate it out. I mean, do we?
So we haven't got time, Mr. Mayor, it's now 47 minutes past, so
Okay,
it's,
mayor making.
so I'm sorry, can we refer to another item?
Yeah, it will be the one after the meeting after.
Yeah,
so
it's
it's
fine.
late for
Got
the-
time, got a year.
Yes, yes. So I'm moving that we discuss a mayor making ceremony as a separate event, and we'll cover that at the next full council meeting that's not next Monday, the one after that. So taking that into account, Councillor Marie's proposed this schedule of meetings and event dates. Somebody had to second, I think Councillor Ripley seconded it, so we could vote on that. Thank you very much. Councillor Brill, are you supportive?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. That's it. Right, so, final item, date the next council meeting, and that's Monday, and that's an STC quarterly meeting with the full council in this room at 7 PM. Thank you very much. Meeting closed.